That's how desperate we are for joy these days. Can we get a little joy, please?
Not wrong, my friend. Not wrong.
I don't want to know about your imperfections, dude. Prefer to leave you on a pedestal so I'll improve. Because if I'm finding out, you know.
Imperfections and all, it's the Basic AF Show. Tom Anderson, Jeff Battersby back together once again. Hello, Jeff.
Good morning, Tom. You didn't do it. You were going to say Basic CF Show.
I was.
But
we got our act together.
Kinda. I'm still watching women's soccer over my left shoulder on the iPad. So,
well, just keep us updated.
Right now, they're up 1-0.
1-0.
Japan.
Barn burner.
1-0.
Yeah.
With about 7 minutes left in the game. Second extra time. We'll see.
All right. We may have a final before we finish the show here.
We definitely will have a final before we finish the show.
Over in Paris. So
Paris.
Yeah.
You know what they say.
All right. That's
it. So, Tom.
Sir.
Been stuff going on this week for some of us and also for Apple. So
there
you
has
want
been.
to ring us up the old earnings report real quick? We don't need to spend a lot of time on it, but
let's do it. So they announced their earnings report for fiscal third quarter. And as Jeff mentioned, we won't spend a lot of time on it because that's not really what we do here. But revenue, $85.8 billion. So they made a few bucks. Services revenue, $24.2 pays to raise those subscription prices. iPhone revenue, though, down 1%. It's been kind of flat for a while. iPad revenue went up 24%. What a shocker. You release new products, people buy them. And Mac revenue ticked up a little bit, 2%. So and I think somewhere I read it ended up somehow being another record quarter or something. I don't know.
I don't
to
know.
print money.
Making bazillions of dollars hand over fist, and so it goes. That's the way it goes.
Just like
Tom.
this show, making money, baby.
We're making so much money, Tom. I can't even imagine. Oh, U.S. almost got another goal. Can't even imagine. See, I'm going to be a little distracted, and I'm not supposed
more
to.
So than usual.
Recording. Yeah, the ADHD is more AD than ever.
That's okay. We'll work with it. It's the Olympics. We'll work with it.
Yeah, okay. As it
goes.
So
they're doing well. Services. I mean, they said it was going to be, one that would be like a growth engine. And the thing with that is there's just such high margins on all that stuff. I think I read it was over 70% overall. Because I mean, that's the Google stuff for the search engine. That's all the stuff we subscribe to. And I think they had 1 billion paid subscribers.
That's pretty amazing.
That's crazy. That's a lot.
And yet, one of the things, and I don't know whether or not I did not listen to the, to the earnings report because why? I don't understand half of it anyway. Right. But the thing that's interesting is about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, Apple also decided that they're going to tighten the purse strings on Apple TV Plus production, which, we'll have a show about this. In fact, anybody listening to this, if you're an Apple TV Plus fan, Tom doesn't watch anything. I watch everything. So
I need some help here, is what you're saying.
Yeah, we need a foot up. So I need somebody I can talk intelligently with this about, and that's not going to be Tom.
No, not for that.
If anybody out there is a fan of Apple TV Plus stuff, let us know. You can let us know, by the way. Might as well pitch this out now at feedback@basicafshow.com, or within your app, you can send us a text message. But we'd be interested in having you on if you are someone that watches content on Apple TV Plus. But Apple has produced some really amazing stuff, like everything from Killers of the Flower Moon, which is a movie that was out, directed by Martin Scorsese this last year. And in addition to that, a ton of really good shows, but they have determined that they're tightening the purse strings a little bit on that they're not going to be spending as much money. So another way to make more money is not to spend money. So hopefully that doesn't lead to junkier television. But if you want to see prestige TV, which Tom doesn't, you can you can definitely see a lot of really good stuff on Apple TV Plus. So Apple I know everybody laughed at them when they first said, we're going to do television. They've done a heck of a job. And so anyway, maybe more money in that bucket again as time goes on because they're not spending as much on the back end. But good for Apple. I wish I never sold my stock because I did a little math on the 100 stocks, the 100, stocks that I bought, Apple stocks that I bought. This was, back in the day when it was $12 a share. I'd have been a millionaire now, Tom, if I hadn't sold it. So
that's good. I'm glad you beat yourself up with it.
Yeah, well, nothing like, being an idiot. So anyway, on to more interesting news. Not that money's not interesting. I just don't have any, so it doesn't interest me that much. What we really want to get into this week is the betas, although I think you're only on the beta on your Mac, and I am on the beta on everything but the Mac Mini that I'm on right now because I didn't want to goof up us being able to record shows and do that kind of work. So I have installed betas on pretty much all my devices, and we can talk about that for a little bit, just to discuss what it is that I've seen. I'm not doing any of the Apple Intelligence betas because I think those are still only developer betas. Is that right?
That is correct.
So it caught you right
Sorry, you caught me mid-drink.
Yeah, right. You and your morning cocktail.
Yeah, good old H2O.
Same. I got a
wild man.
Right, same. Crazy.
Yeah, but no, you're correct. So there's public betas for everything, and then for 18.0, and then there's a developer betas, or I should say there are developer betas for 18.1, for iOS 18.1, iPadOS, and macOS Sequoia 15.1. Those just came out recently.
I haven't touched any of those yet, but I have played with the others, and so we'll start with what I've done, and then I know that you won't touch any of the watchOS betas until it's 100% certain that everything's good. But that is what I'm going to begin with, which is the watchOS betas. Again, I when it comes to the watch, I'm still, like I said a couple of weeks ago, still a little bit on the fence. I like the watch, and there are a couple of features that Apple has added to this that I have had the opportunity to test. And one of those is the trails feature. So you have the ability to see what trails are, where local trails are, and then be able to use those. I went for a relatively long bike ride last week, went 22 miles out and back, and then paid for it for the next 2 days. But one of the things that I will say, I had been using All Trails and actually used All Trails on the way out on that trip, and then used Apple Maps and that feature on the way back on that trip. And one of the things that drives me very nuts about All Trails is, particularly on the watch, it loses where the heck you are. It has no idea. I've had it have me going completely west when I've been traveling east, and I think it's because the GPS, whatever it's doing, is not working correctly. That feature works great on the Apple Watch. The trails feature had me right on the trail the entire time. It was a rail trail, so not too difficult. There was a main road that it ran parallel to for a little bit, and the All Trails app had me on that road and asked me if I was taking a detour. And Apple Maps on the watch had me right where I was, which was really great. So that's a nice feature. Have not played with that other than using that there. So we'll see how it plays as I begin doing hiking with it, which I will be doing coming shortly, and that should be pretty good. The other thing that I really am enjoying, and it's kind of interesting the way that works, is the new Stacks feature. Stacks. What happens is, you have your normal watch face, but I find that when notifications come up or there's something different, say, we both use Carrot Weather app. When Carrot Weather is telling you that there's going to be rain or whatever it is it's going to be, lightning, torture, death, the end of the world. That's typically what Carrot likes to tell you. The world is coming to an end, or to say filthy things to you, which is one of the things I love about that app.
Well, here we go.
I'm not going to say what it says. You can download the Carrot Weather app on your own and see what it is. It's pretty fun. But what it will do is it will pop up the stack. It still keeps the time on there, and you can customize that. I haven't customized it very much, but it will display what the most current item is, and you can scroll through that to see where it is or what it is, whatever else is in that particular stack. But I'm liking that feature pretty much. So a lot of new features as it relates to things that I do now on the Apple Watch, particularly that Maps thing, which I really like, and I'm looking forward to. Haven't had the opportunity to look at or use some of the other things, like the enhanced ticketing feature that's supposed to be able you're supposed to be able to use, and since most people don't have the betas on, I can't use things like tap to cache. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to? I think training load was one of them, right? In watchOS, Tom?
Yeah, so I was just looking at the preview site, and so they've done some improvements, I think, on the activity ring, so you can pause the rings, take an off day if you want to. I know some people complain about that. And you can have different goals for each day of the week, but the vitals stuff, which your overnight health data in one convenient place, which, we've talked about this on previous episodes, where all of that data is in the health app, and we've kind of hoped that as things continued, Apple would bring some of that data to the forefront in useful ways. And I think they've done that with this. And I've been using the Athletic app for a while for this type of stuff, and there are some other ones too. And then they've got training load, which will kind of monitor your recovery and everything, which Athletic does as well too. But have you looked at any of those yet?
I haven't had a chance to do that. I do wear the watch to bed, so that's a big deal. And I haven't looked at that, so I'll have to take a look at that and see what it offers and what it says. And obviously, that stuff is going to translate to the health app on the phone as well, which I do often check my sleep, so it's going to pass that information on. Right. So far so good. I will say, for anybody wanting to consider betas, we're in the second round of the public betas. They released all of them over the last couple of days. And they've been solid. There are a couple of things, that are buggy that you expect to be buggy. For example, sending SMS messages to people I find that if I'm sending any kind of attachment, like, a link to music or a web page, I usually have to send it twice to anybody that's not on an Apple phone. So, annoying, but, it's beta territory. It's not anything to complain about. And a couple of other little quirky bugs, but they're solid. These betas are if you're interested, I say hop right on them. Even for watchOS, even though Tom's never going to do that because he doesn't want to lose his 4,550 years of history.
True that.
So that's.
Hey, I'm not going to lie.
No, that's you, baby.
Yep. What was I going to? You were talking about something there. Oh, with the SMS messages.
Yes.
The RCS, is that something you have to turn on in messages?
I haven't even seen it work. I'll have to have a look at that. Again, okay. I've only been on these betas for the better part of this past week.
Okay.
So, I'm not, and
still
I haven't. New. Yeah, and I haven't, you put a beta on every device, it makes it much more difficult to test every single thing. And I haven't. I even told you this morning, although I've done it since I told you this morning, that on iPadOS, I had not done any of the math, the handwritten math stuff in the Notes app. I hadn't used any of the calculator features. And so that's a thing that I did play with this morning. It works pretty well. We'll see. My handwriting sucks, so it wasn't always perfect. Like I would write to the power of 2 after a parenthesis, and when I did to the power of 2, it thought I was doing another parenthesis on the end, so it didn't do the math. So,
and is the handwriting improvement, is that in the current betas, or is that part of Apple?
I think that's coming because I know it's. I
can't remember
saw it on my phone that I could do that. By the way, the U.S. wins 1-0 off a Rodman goal. So on to the semis for the U.S. women's team. Although of the 2 people in this podcast, I'm the only one who cares.
Yeah, I mean, good for me. Yeah. USA, go
USA.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Anyway, sorry, that was small divergence. I can now get rid of this and be done, and whack the microphone at the same time. So yeah, on to iOS. I love the dark icons. I'm going to say that right out of the box. I haven't done a lot of rearranging yet because I have a pretty well curated home screen right now. It's exactly the way that I like it. So I may play around with it a little bit. But the dark icons, I'm a dark mode guy. I know you're a light mode guy, but the dark icons are really, really good. I'm going to be interested to see once you throw that on your phone, how you feel about the flatter icons. It is a flatter look, because it can be solid colors. If I look at it right now on the iPad that's next to me, they're because of the dark background, kind of have a different look to them, but I love it. I'm wearing a black T-shirt right now as we speak. So,
hey, me too. Maybe I'm a dark mode guy and don't know it yet.
Yeah, you're sure.
No, but I have seen a lot of screenshots and things people have been putting on threads, and no, it looks good. Like, I just like you mentioned, I typically just go with the light mode, but I do think with the icon tinting and everything, I think it looks really nice.
Yeah, no, it's a good look.
Now, some of those color combinations, like where you can choose the color and it'll change the icon color, like you can have like that kind of whole yellow theme or any color.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that. I've seen some people playing with those to make them as ugly as they can, and then they post it, and they are pretty ugly. But but you certainly can make a nice looking home screen with that. So I'm looking forward to saw one seeing it
the other day that had. I think their home screen picture was some kind of aurora borealis that was kind of purple in tone, and they had the middle of it in the middle of their screen. They had the icons wrapped all the way around it. The middle of their screen was the picture of the aurora borealis, and then all the icons around it were a purple that was pretty much the same color as the as what was in the aurora borealis. It was gorgeous, like a
that's
really,
nice because
really
the system will do some of that automatically, which will, so you should be able, that'll be fun because we geeked out for months on the photo lock screen. Remember?
Oh my gosh.
With it just kind of surfaces your photo library. So
yes,
looking forward to us sending each other a bunch of home screen shots again.
Yeah, same. And one thing about that, so we'll jump right to it. But one thing about the home screen, so one of the smart features that's built into it now is the if you go in the Photos app, which some people don't love, I kind of do. It will make suggestions for home and lock screen photos. And what it's pulling out is pretty amazing. I have a picture now. I'm not doing the rotation at this moment in time. I've got a picture that the Photos app selected of one of the forks of the Stanislaus River in Kennedy Meadows at dusk, and it looks flipping awesome. And it's kind of just rolled in there perfectly. A really, really nice look. And that was one of the ones that was selected. There's also one of my daughters. I haven't used it, but when she was in college, it was kind of this picture when we were dropping her off at the dorm of her kind of curled over sideways with a big smile on her face. And it's funny because it kind of curls off the screen and on the screen, and then there's stuff on the right hand side. It really looks good too. So there's some, the pictures, just like what we had with those slideshows. Ones where the lock screen would change every time you looked at it or whatever setting you had it on. The way it looked was really great. This is the same.
Nice.
So I do.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
I do like it a lot. Since we're talking about photos and the surfacing of that kind of stuff, the Photos app is great. The way the editing system is working now is a little different, just the way it's arranged. So it took me a couple seconds to, I'd go to tap where I expected to be able to edit a photo. I was like, oh, wait a second, that's not doing that. What is it now? So you, a couple of changes that way, but I like the way it is. I'm still using Halide mostly for pictures that I really want to take because the autofocus stuff, for example, I was taking a picture of a spider close up the other day, and the iPhone wanted to bounce between macro and not macro, not macro. And
it drives me nuts.
Oh my gosh, it's insane. And Halide just lets you say macro.
It's like me overthinking life choices. It's like,
right. It's too much like my brain.
Wow. I don't need that in my camera.
No, exactly right. But the way that you can edit the photos, it works pretty well. So so far so good for me on the Photos app. I really like it. Again, I typically just use it to send pictures to people and do a fast edit. I usually do 2 steps if I do a black and white photo. And the first step is to use the built-in black and white that's on the app, and then I open it up in Pixelmator, which I don't even know if they're going to support that anymore. But you could open it up in Pixelmator, and then it had another couple of settings in black and white that I can make changes to.
Right,
that
the
typically made it really, the extension worked. So it's working fine for me. I'm liking that, and that's one of the things that I have used a little bit.
Something I'm looking forward to for photos when Apple Intelligence comes out is the feature they showed where you can go into Photos and just type what you want the memory to be or the collection or whatever they're calling it. And Mac Rumors had a nice video walkthrough. It was about 4 minutes of the Apple Intelligence stuff, which we'll talk about a bit more in a few minutes. But we'll have the link to the video in the show notes. But it looked pretty good. I think the thing he did was My Kids at Disney World or something.
Yeah.
And it was good. So I'm looking forward to seeing that when it comes out.
Yeah, that looks really good. I watched the video after you sent it to me, and it's slick. And what Apple is doing with AI that now is on every frigging platform on the planet. You can't watch, not that I watch that many, but you can't watch an ad on the TV without some AI is going to be the next. It's like, good God, stop. But what Apple is doing with this, I know, right? It's the latest buzzword.
You showed amazing constraint there.
Did I?
Yeah. You really wanted to let it loose, I could tell.
I did, right. Angry Jeff making an appearance again. Old man yelling at Cloud Jeff.
Yeah. So you have New Control Center on the list. Have you done much with that?
Yeah, I have.
A lot more customizable and everything now.
It is. And I spent some time rearranging, and there's more stuff that I can do with it that I haven't even seen. I've got it open right now on the iPad, and what's nice is you can resize these things in such a way that they look like I can widen something if I want to. See what it does. So for example, if I wanted the music app to be wider in Control Center, I could do that. So it goes, instead of the square that it normally is by default, you can make it so the width of it goes wider and is wider and thinner. You can add a number of controls, and there are a ton of controls. One of the other things that's kind of cool about it is, the old Control Center, you just slid it down and you had whatever you put in the list. Right. Here, it's now broken into 5 different sections. There's a favorite section. There's a music section, which interestingly enough kind of looks like it kind of looks like an iPhone. Like if you had the music app up on the iPhone. So that's kind of a funny look. Then you've got underneath that, the same thing. It's basically a home section that you've got set up. So if you have any, intelligent stuff or semi-intelligent stuff like your HomePod.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm snarky. And then it's got a section for, all your connections. like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and those kinds of things. So the way that it works is I'm really enjoying it. You can add other sections to it.
They're going to open that up to third party. I think there's APIs for all that, so I think third party apps can add to it.
Yes, exactly correct. So we'll see what shows up there in the future. But so far, I really like it. And you can add as many controls as you want. And when you tap the add a control button, you can search for the controls. So it's got the ability, you can search by app. It shows you the normal defaults, what it is that you might have. For some reason, it removed the camera from my iPhone. So I had to add the camera back. I had the camera there. That's often a way that I fire up the camera. If I'm using Apple's camera, Halide, I have it hooked up to the button on my phone that's still out of reach.
And speaking of buttons, you can customize the buttons on the lock screen now, right?
Yes, you can. I haven't done anything to that, but yes, you can. You can make changes. You can make those be whatever you want them to be.
Okay.
So, which is pretty slick. So, it's got a whole list of things. You've got the ability to see those items and add them. And there are applications that it doesn't look like I have any that are showing up yet, but applications will have the ability to, or give you the ability to make changes to that, which I use a control center all the time, on the iPad, on the phone. So the ability to kind of customize that, and the more I play with it, the more I'll probably tweak it. Really like.
Nice.
And this, by the way, it's almost one for one the same from iOS to iPadOS. So we don't need to say a lot about iPadOS. In fact, I was looking at my iPad, not my phone, when I was, just playing with this a couple seconds ago. So these features are on both for the control center on both the iPad and on your iPhone. So pretty good. Don't have a lot more to say in that regard.
Okay.
So it's
so I'm curious about the last one on the list was flashlight.
Dude, that's so much fun. It's lame.
So I wanted to see what you were thinking on that. I think I know, but I want to hear.
Well, so the flashlight feature, the flashlight was typically on or off, dim or not. Now, and if you haven't seen video of this anywhere, you should check it out. What Apple has done, and these are just the stupid, simple things that Apple does sometimes that bring absolute joy for some stupid little thing. But you've got the ability to control the dimness. It puts a little, when you tap the flashlight, what it does is it puts the it puts a picture of an actual old school flashlight, and you can change how broad the light beam is by dragging it across the top. There's like a little arc, and so you can drag that arc up or down, and it makes it so it gets really directed or really wide, and then you've got the ability to control the the brightness or dimness of it. It's stupid, but it's
really nice interface. Like the UI piece of it is really nice. It's every now and then we talk about this with Apple and their whimsical stuff, and sometimes we criticize them that there's not enough of it, because we see these little pieces, like some of the stuff with the live activities, like how it would go up into the digital, what do they call that thing at the top? Digital island, whatever the heck that thing is.
The island, the digital island.
I can't remember. Dynamic island, that's what it is.
Whatever. Some D word.
It shows you how much we talk about it. But
right.
But yeah, that I saw the videos. So yeah, that's fun. I mean, it's a little thing, like you said, and you're not going to sit and look at it every day, but it's just
nice to use it brings touch. You a little bit of joy, and I think that's kind of the key there.
That's how desperate we are for joy these days. Can we get a little joy, please?
Yeah, not wrong, my friend. Not wrong. Yeah, and I'm looking to see. I'm trying that on the iPad, and I'm trying to see whether or not it gives you that kind of control on the iPad, and it does not appear that it does. It's just an iPhone thing? That's weird. That's disappointing is what that is. But yeah, it's a cute little feature on the phone. I like it. So,
all right.
Yeah, flashlight.
Woohoo! All right. So we're probably, 6 or 7 weeks away before those things are released, I would think.
Yes.
third week of September or 1st of October.
Yeah,
so.
somewhere in that vicinity. But they're
Not
pretty
too far.
tight right now. Yeah. And,
All right, so the last
so far.
one is macOS, and that's
Mac
the one
OS.
that we both have.
iPhone mirroring. Dude, so good. It's so good. The only thing I wish it did, you have to be in Bluetooth proximity to it to be able to make it work. So I'd love if I could leave it on my desk and just bring it up if I needed to bring it
Like
up.
around the house or out on the deck or whatever. Back porch.
Yeah, so because I'm most often working on my Mac.
And they added resizing to the last beta maybe, where you can make the iPhone, as it's represented on the Mac, you can resize it so it's a little bigger.
Yeah, I haven't played with that, actually. That's interesting. And there are a couple of nice features. So one of the things it does is, when you, if you're using a phone that uses Face ID, not Touch ID, which are there any Touch ID phones left? I think there is one, maybe.
I think the SE maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, if you slide up from the bottom, you know how you can scroll through the open programs in the app on your phone, in the screen mirroring app on your phone. If you hang your mouse near the top of it, you get two options, and one of them is that slide over. So it will bring up your list of apps, and you can slide through the apps on the screen. Really slick that way.
Nice.
It would make phone calls on my Mac if I had that feature turned on. I do not. Because I don't like my computer ringing or my iPad ringing.
I don't like my phone ringing.
Well,
anything else.
There's something to be said for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reality in what you're telling me there.
Potential spam. Oh, yeah, thanks. Appreciate the check-in. Potential spam.
But a couple of the other nice features, I do have, a couple of notifications turned on. And if you're using that feature, it mirrors those notifications on your phone, on your Mac. So what's nice about it is I can quickly see what's going on, whether or not, I'm getting a FaceTime call from somebody or, whatever it is that I need to attend to on my phone without actually having to pick up my phone to see it. So really, really nice feature. It's tight, works well.
And you get the Journal app on your Mac.
I haven't tried it, Tom. I'm sorry. I'm a bad student of class.
Bad journaler. Okay.
Well, I write every day.
Just to be clear for anybody listening, the Journal app is not on the Mac.
No,
you can use it on your phone on the Mac through the iPhone mirroring.
I should test
if
that.
you don't like typing on your phone a lot, that could be an easier way to do your
And I think that's been the
day.
real complaint about that. In a couple of weeks, we've got scheduled a journaling guy. We're going to be talking about
we'll
that.
probably dig into that.
Yeah, we will.
A little. I mean, it's not going to be the focus, but
no, but
journaling will be probably, but not. We're not going to rail on the Journal app for
no. But
we could.
That is for me a problem, is doing it on the phone all the time.
Right. You should use the dictation.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't like talking to a journal.
Do you use
either.
dictation much?
I don't.
I don't either.
Yeah,
I wonder. I don't know why I don't. I just don't think about it.
Yeah, I don't. The
voice memos will get better for you though if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, because
they'll
it will transcribe it.
Transcripts, right? Yeah.
So that'll be a nice
that point,
feature.
you could just hit the dictation button in the Journal app. But anyway,
the Journal app for me is not a. I mean, I've used it a couple of times just to play with it and see how it is, but it's not a thing. But I should give it a go. I should have, if I'd been a better podcast partner, I would have tried that out using using the iPhone mirroring. So somewhere along the line, we'll do something about that. But
we'll talk about it. We've got plenty of time. We'll talk about it in September, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds good. Window tiling.
Yes, sir.
Now you're on. By the way, I should. This is one beta that you are running. Is the
correct?
So
I think I installed it Tuesday of this week, and this is Saturday, so I've only had it in a few days.
Okay. Yeah. So occasionally use Magnet. And
me too.
I was using it because you said it was pretty decent. The new tiling feature I really like in macOS. I quit using Magnet. Sorry, guys. And started using the tiling feature. It's pretty fixed as far as I can tell, so it's not entirely as customizable as I'd like it to be. But it's super simple. You drag something over the corner of the screen, it tiles it, or the usual, the little green button that you would use to do full screen or split screen. Now that offers you several options if you click that, so you can tile it accordingly. But I really like it. It's nice, easy way to tile stuff and without going completely to full screen. So that's a really nice feature.
It looks pretty good. I turned off Magnet this week just to test this out. And thing is, even with Magnet, I don't tile the windows a lot. Typically, if it's just I'm working on my laptop screen and not an external. But looking, so I still have Magnet on my MacBook Pro because I haven't upgraded to the beta yet. And it looks like it's got 15 options in the drop-down menu of places you can put windows. And the tiling in Sequoia has 8, it looks like 13.
Yeah.
So pretty similar. You can do keyboard shortcuts for those two for the
which is nice.
One built into macOS. Now, some of these window management apps, Magnet doesn't do it, but some of them do. And there are a bunch of these. There's Magnet, Rectangle, Mosaic. Some of them do more than just the tiling. Like you can set states. So if you've got like a preferred layout for your windows that you kind of work in, you can have the apps open, and when you hit the menu item or the keyboard shortcut, it can just lay them out in groups and different desktops and things like that. So this built-in stuff doesn't do that, but I think for most people that's not a big deal. So I think the third-party apps, I think there's still a need for the people that want those. And honestly, I don't know that many, I'll say non-power users, if you want to call it that, really bother too much with the Windows stuff. Like I just see people run things in full screen and swipe back and forth. And if you support end users enough, you see that people work in all kinds of strange ways.
Pretty amazing.
But it works for them. I mean, it's not a put down, but it's like, wow, I would have never have thought to do that. And so I'm surprised, little side note, at the number of people I see at work that are using Stage Manager on the Mac.
Really?
Students, yeah. Walk around, it's like, oh, whoa, come into the help desk. Wow, Stage Manager. Huh.
Yeah, so they do. You said it all.
Yeah, so it's funny that just, I think we get locked in on the way we do things, or if there's a particular clique of user type that we're a part of in a community or something, and we forget that there's all of these other people out there that don't fall into that and have various ways they do things. But yeah, so talk to me about the Password app. I want to talk about that a little bit too.
Dude, love already. So it's an app, so it's not hidden anymore. It used to be you had to go to the keychain, or in the last couple of versions of EOS, you had to go to system settings to be able to find passwords. Now it's a standalone app. One of the best things about it is I had been holding on to one password for a very long time, just because it had some old information in it, like software licenses and things like that. I was able to export all that one password information into a text file and import all that information into the Passwords app, which was sweet. So now I no longer have two places to have to go. So I can completely discard one password, which I'm happy about. That's, you know what? I loved 1Password for a long time. But when they went to the subscription model, it's like, dude, again, like everybody wants to take my money every year. So I'm really happy with the way the app works. It's kind of sweet in terms of the layout. It's a simple app.
Yep.
And hold on, I'm unlocking it. Welcome.
Basically 6 if you count deleted sections.
Yeah, so there's a deleted section. It synchronizes with iCloud, so everything goes across everywhere. You've got all. I need to now go through and clean this up because I probably have some duplicated items after I imported. So I'll need to take care of that. But it has information on all your passkeys, codes. For example, if you have software licenses or things of that nature, you'll find those in there. It has the security notifications, the ability to share passwords with family members. And to my understanding, that needs to be people that are in your family sharing plan. Okay. You can't just share it to anybody. But you have the ability to share passwords that way. You've got the ability to create a set of trusted contacts, which has always been around, but it's now more, I shouldn't say always been around. It's been around for a while. And it gives you the ability to see who those trusted contacts are, and then to choose what items you want to share. So you don't need to share everything that's in your passwords app. But I really,
how many Wi-Fi passwords do you have? There's a section there for Wi-Fi.
By the way, I clean that stuff up pretty regularly. 36 I currently have.
I got 28.
Yeah. So, but I do go through and clean that stuff up because I, go see clients. For one time, I could tell I was talking off mic, looking at my iPad. So,
yeah, I never.
You could hear my cheek talking.
I still only have 28, so I guess that's pretty good. Yeah, but no, this looks nice, and I think just like with the window tiling feature, if you're a 1Password or LastPass or Bitwarden or something like that, that leans heavily into the power user stuff that those tools provide, this probably won't be enough. But for everybody else, it's going to be really nice.
Yeah, it's great for me. And I will say 1Password does have some big advantages when it comes to, for one of the theater companies I work with, we had that set up. We had a corporate account set up that a bunch of people were a part of, and everybody that needed to have access to specific passwords had access to it that way. And if somebody left the board, we were able to remove them. So it's 1Password definitely has a place in the nice.
Yeah, and they've really made that push into business and enterprise and everything. Yeah. And it's great for that. And I still like the app. I've been having some problem with the extension in Safari. It just will not recognize, and this is on my Mac Mini, so I don't have Touch ID on that. And so I just use the watch to authenticate when I need to unlock it, and it's a bug in this version where it just will not recognize that the watch option is there. It's on, I've reset it. And so that's been frustrating. So I'm just waiting for an update, but also something I just stumbled upon recently with it, and I don't know when they've added it. Maybe they always had it and I just didn't know, but the security questions that some sites still have you do, which are kind of goofy because they're not really all that secure. If you put the information in that they're actually asking. But what I'd been doing is generating random passwords and putting that into the note section in 1Password. So the security question would be, what city did you grow up in? And it would just be a string of garbled text, right? Just like a password. But there's actually a security question section. And I felt like an idiot when I found that. it's like, well, what's the question? All right, you click the button and okay, here's the answer. And it's basically the same thing I was doing. So that's nice. That's not in the Passwords app. It probably will never be in the Passwords app. Of course, 1Password does secure notes too, and you can you can throw your passport up there, your driver's license, all that kind of stuff. And the Passwords app is not that. Of course, you could do secure notes in the Notes app if you wanted to, lock them with Face ID or something. So that's an option. All right. So real quick, just on the Apple Intelligence stuff, as we mentioned, start a show there. Developer Beta 1 of Apple Intelligence is here if your device supports it. So that's the 15 Pro at this point. Pro Max has writing tools. The new Siri stuff is in there, some mail stuff, smart replies for messages, the photos, things we talked about. We talked about transcription, some focus mode stuff. Again, we'll link out or just Google search the Mac Rumors video. They did a nice little video for a couple minutes and showed stuff, and it all looked pretty good. So looking forward to trying that. And once that comes out a bit later.
Yeah. And I will say too, a couple of our guests have, already dug pretty deep into this at SlatePad, if you remember
Riley.
Riley from a couple of weeks ago, both on his YouTube channel and if you follow him on whatever you follow people on, Threads, Twitter, any of those things, you'll find him there. And then also from last week, Adam Jones, or last episode, I should say, Adam Jones
Adam has to.
Yep. He had already jumped into all that stuff even when we interviewed him. So
he did. He's been in it. That's good. He enjoys it.
Yeah.
So
his YouTube channel has that as well. So there are some people you can check in with who are not us, who've probably gone way deeper than us.
Yes.
So we highly recommend you check them out.
Yeah, definitely do that. So Jeff, take us home. I think we're done.
All right. So as usual, feedback at basicafshow.com. We also have basicafshow.com if you want to see any of the archives and, any of the information that's there. So we are, fully integrated into a new website that we like. We kind of were doing blog posts. I don't know how much longer we're going to do that because they get like zero. Nobody's looking at them. But I was doing some blog posts after. It was like, maybe it's not worth it. Not worth the effort. So you can see that there. And remember that if you can send us a direct message either from the Basic AF Show website or directly in app. You can essentially send us a text message and we will get it. And we're happy to get that.
We did. We just got one not too long ago.
Yeah, we did.
Like our first official one. So we're happy about that. So
besides Tom and me sending messages back and forth to each other. Yeah. You're a dork. No, you're a dork. No, you're a dork. You can get us that way. As a reminder, show music, Psychokinetics. And again, thank you to Celsius 7 for letting us hop on there. And Randall Martin Design for our show art, which is still the best art on any podcast that I've seen. That's us, Tom.
All right. That is it. And as always, we do thank you for being here. We appreciate it. There are lots of choices for this type of content, and we are honored that you'd spend a few minutes with us to do this. So thank you so much. And until the next time, hope you have a great rest of your day, a great evening, and we will talk to you then.
See ya!